Welcome back. As you know, I am Eli, the computer guy. This is Roxy, the puppy dog, and this is the Daily Blob, where I shake my brain nipples or cuddle my chihuahua to get some of that dirty, dirty YouTube money so I can afford to provide you folks free hands-on technology education. Again, Silicon Dojo, silicondojo.com. We do hands-on technology education that empowers you to do whatever the hell it is that you want to do in Durham, North Carolina. We just did a class a couple of days ago. We're going to be doing another class in a couple of weeks. If you're interested, go to Silicon Dojo. Really kind of cool stuff there. So this is interesting. Remember when everybody had to collide? Remember back in 2015 when everybody had to collide? That was a big thing going on in the tech world. Collisions were the most important thing. As I've talked about before, I have no idea how anybody actually got their work done. Like writing code, racking servers. Oh no, the real value is in colliding with people. Anyways, right, you had these offices. Offices were specifically built to make it more of a pain in the ass to go to the toilet. Because the idea being, if you repositioned where the toilets were, it was more likely you'd run into people on the way to the toilet. Which just seems like a bad idea. There's got to be a better way of doing this. Anyways, right? So that you would run into different types of people, so that you could talk and you could communicate and you could create real value in the company for understanding how other people did the stuff that they did, right? You had the open office spaces, the open workspaces, where again, I'd have no idea how anybody got any work done, right? You go into there, it echoes to high hell and back. People are having loud conversations like fucking 3 feet away from you, and you're supposed to write 200 lines of code by the end of the day. You're just like, what the fuck? But anyways, right, that's how everybody knew that technology had to be developed. All the way until COVID happened, and then everything was work from home. Obviously, in 2021, everybody doesn't have to be in the same building. That's ridiculous, right? People will be spread all over the world for some reason, right? And work from home isn't the future, it's the now. And that's what we heard from all the CEOs. And you'll notice I've screamed about all of this shit for a long time, right? And what we see with these CEOs is they're just a bunch of fucking lemons, right? The idea that the tech industry is visionaries and rebels and revolutionary, that is horse crap. That is marketing drivel they serve to you to believe in this stuff, all right? But anyways, they're just little lemons. And so what we're seeing now, again is the return to office, right? Return to office mandates, because obviously you need to be in the office to get work done. And why I get so frustrated about this is just how, like, whatever cycle we're going through, that we are told this is the way to do work, right? One of the things you'll notice with me as I talk about this is that there are many ways to get work done for many different types of companies, based off of their resources and their requirements and their needs, right? You build your office environment, you build your organizational structure based off of requirements. I know it's a shocking thing. You fucking boomer talking about like requirements, solving problems. Anyways, right? That's why I get frustrated, because again, there's this whole idea, this is the way to do it. It's just not, right? I mean, it's curious. Like if you go all the way back, like with the whole idea with work from home, like that was so new. Like telecommuting had been around since 2098 or whatever, but work from home was brand new. It was interesting. I took a MySQL class. MySQL, when it was still owned by MySQL, before it got bought by Sun and then gobbled up by Oracle, right? Their company was entirely remote. It was entirely telecommuting all the way back 20 fucking years ago, right? Because for their company, that made a hell of a lot of sense. And so I think that's one of the big things to be thinking about with this kind of stuff is just like what actually makes sense for your company. And it's not necessarily that makes sense for the person, right? One of the big things I've heard with like middle managers or like middle level engineers or higher level engineers is, I don't need to come into the office. Why the fuck do I need to come into the office? Well, one of the reasons you need to come into the office is because the younger engineers need to see you being a cranky bitch. Right? I mean, that's the thing. Like you don't need to come into the office, but we need to upskill our younger engineers. They will get upskilled more efficiently if you're in the office to upskill them. So you don't technically need to be in the office. They fucking do. They need your help. Get the fuck in the office, right? From an organizational standpoint, It's an important thing. And I think the big problem that we're seeing with a lot of these tech companies is they're not again, what's weird, like what is fundamentally weird, like our industry is supposed to be about dynamic configurations, about being able to highly customize things, about using the appropriate tools for the most efficiency at the least resource cost. Like that's how we should be designing basically all of our systems. And yet when it comes to the actual working environment, it's this weird fucking all or nothing horse shit that just, I don't know, just pisses me off. So anyways, well, this should be interesting. Since I got Roxy in my lap. Oh, there you go. Hold my Mac with the other arm. Google Ads, so this is coming from CNBC, Google Ads limits to work from anywhere policy that began during COVID. So yeah, remember when you could work from anywhere at Google? No, now you can't. Apparently, this is a policy that is different from work from home. So work from home has basically already been killed. You have to come into the office 3 days a week because, of course you do. This is a work from anywhere policy. The idea being, if you want to do like the digital nomad thing, that you got up to 4 weeks. So that you're still working, but instead of being from home, you could be in Tunisia or Madagascar, or wherever that has an internet connection, right? Because why does it matter? Why does it matter where you're working? Apparently it now does. Apparently it now does. Because reasons. Google is continuing to put restrictions on remote work, this time with a popular policy called Work From Anywhere that was established during the COVID pandemic. The policy has allowed employees to work from a location outside of their main office for up to 4 weeks per calendar year, according to internal documents viewed by CNBC. Working remotely for even a single day will now count for a full week. And this is the weird thing that they're doing, and this is the other thing that I get frustrated with, is they're obfuscating, right? These technology companies are such piss-ass fucking cowards, right? Run by little fucking boys that never grew up, right? Little boys that became professionals in an era of 1% interest rates. So they never had to be real fucking leaders, right? Put your big fucking boy pants on and be a goddamn man for once at the fuck in your life. But that's too much for Silicon Valley. That's pretty much for Silicon Valley. So what they do is like obfuscate things, right? And so that's the thing. You have 4 weeks of work from anywhere. Okay. But then they realize, oh, we don't really want that policy. We don't really want that policy. That policy is bad. So what we're going to do is if you work from anywhere for 1 day during a week, we'll just count that for the entire week. So one person, if they plan it out right, can get 20 days of work from anywhere. Another person that isn't really thinking about it, because, you know, they got other shit to deal with, right? Hey, don't you want your technology professionals worried about like the code base? Like, I know, I'm just a jackass in my basement. What the fuck do I know? But if I had technology employees, I would want them to be burning their little CPUs over better infrastructure, better code base. Hey, how to implement artificial intelligence into your systems a little bit better. I would want them focused on that shit and not on fucking like work from home policies or work from anywhere policies. And that's the weird thing with all of this, right? By obfuscating, right? They're making it more confusing. They're making it more confusing. They're making it more frustrating. Right? Because now employees have to start focusing on what do these policies actually mean. So if you have one employee that understands what's going on, they get 20 days a year. 20 days, they can work from Madagascar if they want to. Another person that's actually focused on shipping shit because they thought that that's their job. It's 2025. Your job isn't shipping shit. Man, that's such a boomer mentality. That is such a 2005 idea. Your job as a technology professional is ship shit that people use, right? So you have somebody that's focused on shipping shit, so you're not really thinking about how all these policies work out at the end of the day, and they end up getting 4 days of work from anywhere, right? Simply because they didn't quite understand how that policy worked, right? This is just, I don't know, it's the prime 2025 tech world of these fucking tic-tac penises, just managers and leadership. Anyways. Quote, whether you log 1 work from anywhere day or 5 work from anywhere days in a given standard work week, 1 work from anywhere week will be deducted from your work from anywhere weekly balance, according to a document that was circulated over the summer. Sure. Google isn't altering its current hybrid schedule, which was put into place during the pandemic, allowing employees to work from home 2 days a week. WFA days are distinct from that policy, giving staffers the flexibility to work remotely, but not at home. WFA weeks cannot be used to work from home or nearby, the document says. A top-rated question that was submitted on Google's internal system described the update as confusing. Yes. Fair enough. Quote, why does even 1 day of WFA count as a whole week? And can we reconsider the restriction on using WFA weeks to work from home? The question said. John Casey, Google's vice president of performance and rewards, said at the meeting that WFA, quote, was meant to meet Googlers where they were during the pandemic, according to audio obtained by CNBC. Quote, the policy was always intended to be taken in increments of a week and not be used as a substitute for working from home in a regular hybrid work week. So what one person also said is, hey, if there's work from anywhere, why don't I just use a few of those days to work from home? Kind of like sick days. I do think that's kind of an interesting idea. Like what if you just got like 60 work from home days per year, right? Just like you get, 10 sick days or whatever else. So you can work from home wherever it's appropriate for you. Like that actually makes a lot of sense. That's actually an interesting idea right there. But yeah, no, that's not where they're going. It's like, no, this is work from anywhere. It's just, you gotta make sure all the numbers are correct or whatever else. So yeah, I don't know. I kind of just think this is interesting. Just again, from that idea of how all of these tech leaders are walking back the horse crap that they were spewing for a couple of years there. And I'll be curious to see basically where this goes in the future. And the other thing too to realize with this is it kind of goes hand in hand with this AI garbage, right? We're told AI is the future, and obviously we need to put $4 trillion into CapEx expenses for AI. And you have people like me in my basement saying this is fucking dumb. But what I want you to think about here is think about it. Like, look at this, right? Like we were told everything was work from home. Right? COVID happens, everything is work from home. So if everything is work from home, think about all these technology systems that you need to buy from all these major technology companies in order to support the new work from home, office environment. Right? You need Zoom and you need Teams and you need this and you need that and you need the other thing, right? And they're pushing this shit hard. They're pushing everybody with the idea that the modern corporate, world will look like this work from home crap. And then it's amazing. It's amazing how quickly they go from selling that horse crap to now being like, well, obviously, that's not what we're actually going to do. And so think about this with artificial intelligence. As they're shoving this crap down your throat and saying that this is the future and anybody who doesn't use this is going to be some kind of Luddite or some other crap. Just look at their recent history. Don't go back to 2000. Don't go back to 2005. Just look at the garbage that they're willing to spew. Look at the garbage. They're willing to go to CNBC and with a straight face, they're willing to spill out this crap. And then, right, when the other lemmings start going in a different direction, all of a sudden, like, well, no, that's stupid. Who would say something stupid like that? This obviously is the way to do things. So anyways, some things to think about there. So what do you think about this? With Google adding limits to their work from anywhere policy. What do you think, again, about obfuscating it, right? Where it's like, well, it's 4 weeks, but if you take 1 day out of a week, that equals the entire week. What do you think about them walking back? Again, basically this work from home or work from anywhere concept that they were pushing not that long ago. Put your thoughts down below. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a thumbs down. Aw, you're not going to give her a thumbs down, are you? Give us a thumbs down. Call me amazing. Call her wonderful. Whatever. Just be a real Lutnick and do it down there in the comment section. Do remember silicondojo.com is what I actually care about. Again, hands-on, free to the end user technology education classes that empower you to do whatever the hell it is that you want to do. We're going to have another class in Durham, North Carolina coming up, and we're going to be having more and more. So if you're interested, become a member and to make sure you're on the list or whatever else. And with that, see y'all later.